Hey, this is Scott here once again with Abundance Coaching TV, and today I have my awesome friend, my client, my partner here at Abundance Coaching, Phil Mullins. Welcome to our episode today.
Thank you.
Right on. So yeah, today we're going to be talking about journeys and what your journey has been through being coached, obviously, by myself, and through the process. You've been coached with me since
two years now.
Yeah, 2 whole years.
Since I think it was late 2014, so it's been a long journey, a very good one.
Yeah. So awesome, eh?
Yeah.
And through this, can you point out a little bit about where were you at when you first thought, hey, maybe I should get a coach?
Yeah, so going back to late 2014, early 2015, so background is in the actuarial sphere. Was doing quite well at work and so on, but I was getting a bit disillusioned about where I wanted to go longer term, so I didn't really know what my long-term trajectory was, and I felt like I really need that help to kind of set my priorities or direction in the right area. Felt like I was spinning my wheels a lot, trying hard in a lot of things, but wasn't getting the traction that I required.
Yeah.
So I thought, I need a bit of help, and found out about you through a mutual friend, and it's been awesome.
Yeah, that's great. And there were some things too about you didn't really like how you were getting involved with the banter at work. Sometimes you'd say, hey, some of the stuff that was going on, the shop talk.
And the negative thinking and so on. Yeah, just didn't think it was conducive to an effective way of working, or just more broadly, when you get caught into that negative talk, I think people underestimate how unhealthy it is. Even just thinking about the media, a lot of the negativity in the media, I try and distance myself as much from that, because while you need to be informed, it's also a balance between getting too much negativity in your life, which flows onto other areas.
Yeah, it's so true, isn't it?
Yeah.
So we began our coaching journey, right? And you wanted to, get yourself more balanced, find out more of what your direction and your purpose should be, find out more of what was possible for Phil as well.
Yeah.
Can you talk about maybe the beginning stages? What did you experience with the coaching process?
Yeah, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think one of the first things we did was to focus on my core values.
Yeah, it was.
And I really didn't know much about that at all at that stage. But yeah, really dug in. You've got an awesome interactive game that I played and have continued to play along my journey, and it really just showed me what the core things are that drive me and what my priorities in life should be. And obviously that can change over time, but they are at the core, the things that really drive me. So getting an understanding of that has helped me hugely.
Yeah.
Obviously there's a lot of things things trying to tug on my time, but knowing what drives me, I can actually make decisions based off what my core values are, the things that will actually really are me, really.
Yes.
So using that knowledge, I can say, well, I need to prioritize this, because if I don't, then I'm not acting in alignment with who I am.
Yes.
Yeah, and so goals can flow from that. So first focused on core values, then set long-term goals, which I put up on my wall at home.
Your wall is amazing.
I've got a very pretty wall, don't I?
I should show it up here, just you got a very pretty wall.
Yeah, a lot of colour on my wall.
Yeah, lots of visions, your values are there, it's very, very colourful, yes.
Yeah. So there's 4 main spheres that I've got to my wall, all the different values, and the core value, I can't even remember what you call it. The statements, yeah. So got that up on my wall, then looked into priorities, how I use those values to actually work out each month and each week, setting monthly, weekly, and then daily actions just to get momentum. I think then we went into the wheel, the life wheel.
Abundance life wheel, yeah.
That's an awesome tool just to make sure that I'm on track throughout the year, just marking myself to see how am I actually going in each of the different areas, and what focus areas do I need to pay attention to in the next 3 months, 6 months.
So true, isn't it?
Yeah.
And you've been doing the Abundance Life Wheel now for a couple of years.
Yeah.
And you found that it's really important to come back to it as a monthly target.
Yeah. It's not like, okay, I nail it 1 month and then it's nailed forever. I wish that was the case. I'd have a full wheel if that was the case. But it really is. You need to continue to devote attention to it, and if you don't, it's like anything. You start to regress in certain areas, and you need to reassess what areas you need to focus on.
One other aspect that was really powerful in the business side and work side was working through values and principles. I wonder if you can maybe elaborate a little bit about, like, we work through principles like boundaries or developing people, character principles that helped your leadership and your courage.
Yeah, so obviously another reason why I came to Scott for coaching was around the same time I was moving into management positions, and I'd always been obviously someone who I hadn't managed many people before, so I didn't have many tools in my toolkit. So walking through, I think it was the 40 principles of leadership, just working through that on a weekly basis, like going through each of those, that was phenomenal. Just arming myself, understanding how people are different, and so you don't have like a cookie cutter approach for everyone. You need to adapt, and it's something that we're revisiting at the moment, because obviously I'm stepping into another position soon, so I need to really look at that again and think about what else I can bring to the table. So that was really practical steps. It's probably too much to go through now, but it was really great steps that you took me through, and building rapport with people, building trust, the importance of that, and how you do that.
And it's a really neat process too, because we're reading the principle. It's big and meaty, but it's powerful and punchy and succinct. I remember one of the things that I loved about it was there was the golden nugget section. So you'd read a whole lot of information about it, but then summarizing what I think it was 3 to 6 golden nuggets. I can't remember the exact number, but just breaking it down, then how do you actually use them, give some examples of how you apply that. So it was quite practical, and it's great. A very valuable process. And then the other aspect that really found a lot of traction for you was the life languages. And discovering those, you being like a high doer, somewhat high shaper as well. How's that maybe help you understand yourself and others? Well, definitely I think I'm a very high doer, which means I really like my to-do lists, my checklist, and ticking it off, but it often means that I don't step back and see the bigger picture, and so I get overwhelmed by the detail, and if I don't actually finish things, I feel often quite ashamed of myself, and it can flow onto other areas of my life. So having that awareness, I remember when you first took me through, I'm like, wow, that is so me. That's exactly me. Did they write this just for me, this thing? But then knowing like what the strengths or the pros and cons, and understanding how, when I forgot, was it the signs when I move into the distress flares, and just being able to know what tools I can use to step out of that. And then secondly, knowing how to relate to people. Most of my team are actually doers. A lot of actuaries are doers, so I can definitely relate to that, but not all of them. So being able to adapt my the way I deal with people to actually know, okay, what are they likely to be thinking, and that's been really useful as a manager. And also with relationships. So with my wife, just got her to do it as well. So I know that obviously she likes the acts of service. So knowing, that's how I can show how I love her. So that's true. Yes. Oh, it's so awesome. But these are just like pieces of a big jigsaw puzzle to help you live a more rich and full life. And I think that people are catching a picture of Phil in your life, but there's something more as well. Like something about you that has a desire, and people I think could really appreciate Phil, and how like you're ambitious, and you're willing to actually say, I want to dive in, do some personal development, but there's a bigger heart in you to make a contribution, to make a difference, and there's a driving factor. Can you share a little bit more about that? And that was brought out very early in the coaching journey, and that was when we were going through the core values, what came out. And it was actually a bit surprising how strongly it came out. Was one of my core values is making a difference. Yes, it is. So I kind of knew it in the past, like I like to help people out, but I didn't know that it was actually a fundamental it's really at the core what I want to do. So I really want to be able to make a difference to people who are less fortunate than myself, both economically and maybe overseas. There's a lot of terrible things that are going on with slavery and
poverty and so on. So I really want to make a difference in that space. So that's really the light on the hill for me, and everything else is about how I can become most effective in getting there. So all the tools you've given me the light on the hill. You've shown me how to find that within myself, and all the tools to actually get there in the most effective manner. So that's, and just coming back to that, obviously it's not smooth sailing. So knowing when I'm going slightly off course, having these catch ups, like, Phil, take a step back. Where are you trying to head? You're trying to get there. You're worried about these little things. How are we aligned
to our values with this?
How does it, and make big decisions. So I've had a couple recently, thinking through that, like, how does it all shape up to my overall vision? Does it actually make sense? If not, do the trade-offs make sense? So that's really helped. That's been the biggest thing I've taken out of it, really. I would say.
So incredible, just seeing you and how your heart is there to give and to make a difference. So you've become an ambassador now for Homes of Hope. Wow. That's pretty amazing.
I'm very excited.
And for the people that don't know, that might be watching or listening, Homes of Hope is an organization that has an aim to free women and children from sexual slavery, from extreme poverty in third world countries usually, or developing countries, we should say, usually. There's 10 projects around the world, and you're really passionate about being involved. Why?
Well, I fully reckon these people are pretty much helpless. Like, we're so lucky to live in a country where we take a lot of things for granted. We've got massive wealth here. I know not everyone's on the same level, but relatively speaking, we have amazing wealth. We've got so much freedom, and these people are just treated like dirt, a lot of them. And I think I feel it's incumbent upon myself to use what I've been given to actually help others. So a lot of what I do is really thinking about how I can, the longer term goal is to get there, and obviously I'm trying to live that along the way and help out with projects and so on, but really I'm trying to do a lot of other projects with my financial investments and so on, trying to maximize that so I can make the biggest contribution that I can possibly make.
It's amazing. And you ran an event.
I did run an event, that was about a year and a half ago, so I'm definitely overdue for another one.
Got to get another one going.
Got to get another one going.
So
that event was awesome. Got together, it was in a restaurant, got about 50 to 60 people together, and Greg Beach, the chairman, was speaking. He's amazing. He's just got such energy and such passion for it, and had a band there, had some auctions. It was a fun night, actually, really good food. So raised some money and got some sponsors for that. So it was a really rewarding experience.
You know, we talk about this epic journey of life, Bill. And, you know, having an epic life is about going out and living a life that matters, that counts. And it often requires for us to go out of that comfort zone. In fact, it always requires for us to go out of that comfort zone. Leave the land of slumber. You know,
I love that metaphor.
Go into the reforming lands. Find out the identity in the identity lands. All en route to the empower lands. But in the midst, you got to deal with fear and pride and all kinds of other competing things, and dragons and giants, and you know, like, life is a challenge through that course. But you're not alone. You know, we got each other's back. And more than that as well is that you have like a fighter spirit, and you are a partner with people. And you see things that other people don't see. Like, there's an inspiration that I know people are seeing in you, Phil.
Oh, thanks, Scott.
You know, like, people desire to be on a journey. Like,
I think everyone has something, that a bigger why, and I think what has been so valuable from your coaching is bringing that out. And the key for me, which I haven't always been able to do, but I think that when I'm in my prime, it's when I know what my vision is. It's actually aligning everything towards that. And I think if people can achieve that, and your coaching definitely equips people to do so, I think that's when people are really in their prime and the most effective. For sure. That's
so awesome, man. And, you know, speaking of being in each other's corner, how about those mud runs, hey?
Oh, yeah. That was awesome. Yep. We'll have to do Tough Mudder next year. We still haven't done that one. But
we've done the Battlefield
Spartan.
and the Spartan. Yeah. Tough Mudder, hey?
Tough Mudder's the next frontier.
Whoa.
Yeah.
There we go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe Mount Everest one day.
We
have talked about that as well.
Haven't we?
Yeah.
Yeah. Maybe we got to get the people watching here. You want to come? Let's go on an epic journey to Mount Everest.
That would definitely be an epic journey.
We're going to the base camp, though. You know, my wife was pretty scared when I said we're going to go to Everest.
Yeah. Not the peak. Not yet. Maybe that'll be the second time.
Yeah, maybe if that's aligned with people's values.
Yes.
You know.
Yeah.
It's at the moment I don't know that I don't need to achieve or accomplish that.
Okay.
But maybe you want.
Well, something in my heart, you know how much I love adventure and that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
So maybe.
Oh, so awesome. It's something really special about getting in the trenches, though, isn't there?
Yeah. Oh, definitely. It really builds camaraderie. It brings out the fighting spirit as well.
Yes, it does.
Yeah, the overflow concept you mentioned before. I think there's definitely truth in that it overflows into other areas. I'm sure you were. Well, I was definitely buzzing for a couple of weeks after that.
I always am.
Yeah.
Like it's exerting physically, but then, you know, because part of it's like, you know, like remember the Battlefield one, like almost a kilometer of those heavy packs.
That was pretty hard, wasn't it?
Yeah.
So I can't remember how much. Was it 50 kilograms or 40? Anyway, it was a lot.
Something like that, yeah.
It was pretty heavy.
Yeah, so it's decent.
Yeah.
Yeah. And just you know, you're as dirty as you can get. You're saturated with mud.
Underwater in mud at some stage. Remember the tunnel? Literally mud everywhere.
Everywhere. It's perfect.
Yeah.
Oh, so much fun, you know?
Yeah.
So that's the kind of journey that we need to go on more. Yeah.
For sure.
So we invite you to come on a journey with us. And you know, it might be muddy, it might be dirty, and we might take you to Everest.
But that's okay. It'll be worth it. It'll be fun.
Okay. That's okay. Right on. So what would you say in closing? Like, how would you say people could benefit from taking a journey with a coach, maybe with Abundance Coaching or one of our coaches or myself? What would you say to them?
Well, I think if you're anything like me and you're in a position where you just really didn't know where you're headed, I think first and foremost, sitting down with a life coach such as Scott definitely will help you to understand your core values, the direction that for you is best fitted, and then it's about finding the most effective path to do so. So working through your priorities, working out what your goals are to actually align yourself to that overarching goal, and having the feedback loop. So it's not enough to just do it once off and then go away, because life will kick in. Yeah. The busyness of life will just bring you back to where you were. I shouldn't say even for me, but given that I've been, even after doing it for 2 years, like I still fall back like into into normal life. And if I don't actually have you to stand with me on that journey, I wouldn't be effective. So having those constant catch-ups, it's really effective. So I think if you want to get the most out of what you've been given in life, having a coach alongside you definitely helps. Like I've been on this journey for over 2 years now. I can confidently say hand on heart that it has really helped me, for sure. And plus, this guy is awesome. Just personally, even if he wasn't your coach, he's awesome. The amount of energy that he brings, it's just really inspiring. So thank you, Scott.
You're welcome, man. Yeah. And I'd have to say, like, for you as well, like, I just love connecting with you.
Oh, thanks.
I just love connecting with you because, like you really are so lapping up, like, change, lapping up bettering, lapping up, I want to be a better dad. Yeah. How do I be a better dad? We'll talk about being a better husband. Yeah. We'll talk about being a better man with character and principles. And having more clarity and understanding with values and life languages. Yeah. And what we're doing, like having better success, like you just had a major breakthrough with you didn't know where you were going to go. Yeah. With your work, hey? Yeah. But big breakthrough there. Yeah. Can you share a little bit about what happened there?
Yeah, so worked for a major life insurance company, and there was a bit of uncertainty about the future of that company, and there was a risk that I would actually possibly be made redundant. Didn't know for sure, but it was definitely on the cards. So I made the difficult decision to actually look for another job, and it's turned out very well. Got a very good new role, step up for me as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, like it was a hard decision. Like I really did love working for the other company, but yeah, I think overall it made sense.
Yeah.
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 So working with you, and I remember we mapped out the pros and cons and looked at all the different scenarios, and yeah, it became pretty clear. While it was a hard decision to make, I had to step out of my comfort zone, it was the right decision to actually move. So thank you for helping me through that, because
you're welcome, man.
I think I would have just erred on the side of conservatism and stayed where I was, unless I had you alongside.
Staying in the land of slumber, right?
Yeah.
You know, like that's we got to take that step, but you know, sometimes that is the right decision.
Yeah.
And we went through like a grilling process of, you know, deciding what it was.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm so proud of you. You know, but if we're to trace it back, doesn't a lot of that come down to, you know, like how you started the year? You really were honing in, you know, and you prepared yourself at the beginning of the year. You know, like we've done this Light Plan Intensive for a long time, and you've been doing your priorities, and you've been to the Light Plan Intensive workshop, right? Yeah, definitely. But then also the Ultimate Year Workshop, you really honed in what you expected for the year, and also that you were going to get your financials, what you were going to get paid.
Definitely, yeah.
Like you had some we started the year off.
Yeah.
What about that?
Yeah, I've actually exceeded that now as well. So, so gone beyond the goal. So, yeah, I do remember setting some pretty, what I thought was some pretty stretching goals at the time, but jumped over those.
So that's an actual result.
Yeah.
Right? So you came to the Ultimate Year Workshop, which is really a goal-setting workshop.
Yeah.
You start the year off with setting major goals for yourself. And one of them was really stretching with your financial goals.
Yes.
And
jumped over
you leapfrogged it.
Yeah, leapfrogged it. Yeah. Yeah, and it's all goes back to the mindset. Just really stretching what I believe is achievable. Yeah. I think if we set limitations in our mind, then we'll actually, they will be limits because they're self-imposed. But if you can break through that, then who knows what you can achieve? You can achieve as much as you believe you can achieve. So that's been really valuable to expand what I think is possible. Yeah.
And so much is possible, buddy.
Yeah.
So much is possible.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
And just being around other people who actually are achieving as well, that's really been valuable to actually expand what I believe is possible. So one of the other things you've taught me is, the people you hang around, that's a big influencing factor on what you can achieve or what you can't achieve.
Yeah.
It doesn't mean that you ignore people, but it means that the more time you spend with people who are successful, or who, not necessarily successful, but aligned to what you believe is important, then that's more likely to equip you with the mindset and the skills to actually reach out and achieve that yourself.
Yes.
Yeah. So just being with a lot of your other coaching students, that's been awesome as well. We've had a few catch-up sessions and some games nights, and
that's fun, hey? That's true.
That's been awesome.
You know, it's so powerful that that who you associate with peace. Yeah. You know, building your SEAL team and those important people that'll support you, encourage you, keep you accountable, lead you, coach you, life coach you at times, and be in your journey, in your corner. Yeah. Yeah. So awesome. Well, you know, Phil, this has been a great interview. It's been great chatting with you. You know,
it's always good catching up, Scott.
I know, hey? Yeah. And I'm just going to declare right now that this is going to impact people. This is going to impact you if you're listening or watching this. And, rewind, take some notes. This is a real live example, testimony of a man who has fulfilled so many of your targets and goals, leapfrogged some.
Yes.
But you're relentless. This isn't, you know, what we've achieved. It's like, where are we going?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Life is about the journey.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, you know, I appreciate you. Thank you so much for coming on the show.
No, it's been a pleasher. So I definitely encourage everyone to at least check it out. It's well worth it.
Amazing, man. Okay, so my name is Scott Epp, and once again, until we chat again, live with passion and have abundance in life.